T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12,
In the 1960s
11,
and 70s,
10,
we made history.
9, ignition sequence start. 6.
The world watched as NASA's Apollo program took humanity to the moon. From Neil Armstrong's first steps on July 20, 1969, to the final mission Apollo 17 in 1972. During the Apollo program, 17 missions were carried out, 6 of which successfully landed on the moon. The discoveries made there have become the foundation for our current space exploration. And now, more than half a century later, we stand on the brink of a new era in space exploration, called the Artemis program. But what is Artemis? The Artemis program is the successor of the Apollo mission. It's named after Apollo's twin sister, the goddess of the moon, symbolizing the effort to send not only men, but also the first woman and the first person of color to the moon. In 2010, NASA was tasked with developing a new program to go beyond Earth, with the goal of deep space exploration. In 2017, NASA announced the Artemis program
to return American astronauts to the moon within the next 5 years.
As the successor to the Apollo mission, with the ambition to return humans to the moon and establishing a sustainable presence. But this program goes further than just the moon. It aims to lay the foundation for missions to Mars. But why do they want to go back to the moon? Aside from being an incredible experience, they are primarily going back for scientific discovery, economic benefits, and to inspire a new generation of explorers, according to NASA. They will build a global alliance and seek to explore deep space. To conduct long-term research on the moon and beyond, NASA plans to launch a new space station called the Lunar Gateway. The Gateway will serve as a stay for crewed Artemis missions and as a platform for scientific research in deep space. The first module of the Lunar Gateway, the Power and Propulsion Element, also known as PPE, is scheduled for launch late 2028, along with the habitation and logistic outpost. These will form the foundation of the station, which will be expanded over the following years. Before the space station is launched, there will have been 3 Artemis missions to the moon. The first Artemis rocket was already launched in 2022. On November 16, 2022, Artemis I was launched as an uncrewed test flight. It had the goal of testing the rocket systems and the spacecraft's performance. During this first mission, NASA also tested its latest rocket, the Space Launching System, also known as SLS. The SLS is the most powerful rocket ever built by NASA and is specially designed for the Artemis program. The SLS is capable of transporting astronauts, spacecraft and heavy cargo into deep space. The rocket has 2 external fuel tanks that together hold 2.3 million liters of liquid oxygen and hydrogen, which power the main engines during the launch. These are 4 RS-25 engines, which were previously used in the Space Shuttle program. These engines are extremely reliable and powerful. On either side of the main fuel tank, 2 solid rocket boosters are mounted, providing extra thrust during the first phase of the launch. Together, this generates 8.8 million pounds of thrust at launch, surpassing the Saturn V rocket used for the Apollo missions. During crewed flights, the astronauts will be seated in the Orion spacecraft. Orion will transport astronauts to the moon and beyond and will return them safely to Earth. The next mission is Artemis II. scheduled for late 2025. This will be the program's first crewed mission, sending 4 astronauts aboard Orion on a journey around the Moon.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Artemis II crew.
During this mission, they will test the systems for future crewed space flights. Artemis II will not land on the Moon yet. After Artemis II, the Artemis III mission is planned. This will be the first crewed moon landing since Apollo 17 in 1972. 2 astronauts, including the first woman and the first person of color, will land near the Moon's south pole. Artemis III is currently scheduled for late 2026. After these first 3 missions, the Lunar Gateway will be launched, what will be called as the Artemis IV mission. After this, many more missions will follow to further build the gateway and start the first research projects on the Moon and beyond. One of these projects is the Lunar Terrain Vehicle, which NASA plans to bring to the Moon during the Artemis V mission, scheduled for 2030. This unpressurized rover, designed for astronauts in spacesuits, will allow them to navigate the lunar surface. This is an unpressurized rover being developed for NASA that astronauts can drive on the Moon while wearing their spacesuits. With all these missions and research in prospect, they hope to one day be able to take the step towards Mars. So now you know what the Artemis program is, what the goals are, and the timeline. The Artemis program marks the beginning of a new era of space exploration. The ambitions are greater than ever, not only returning to the Moon, but going beyond. It's an exciting time for space enthusiasts. What do you think of the Artemis program? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on Artemis and the future of space exploration.